Hi Sagittarius, the Awakened Dreamer here. Just cleansing the energy as we get ready to do your weekly tarot reading for the week of October 25th to the 31st of October to finish up the month. And do keep in mind this is general. We're going to do it a little bit differently this week and pull some messages from the Halloween Oracle deck, which we used last week as we finish up the week and month with Halloween. Then we'll pull one Green Witch Oracle card for the overall focus for the week. And then we'll pull some Gilded Tarot Royale for the main part of the reading and clarify further if need be, which we usually do. Okay? Wow, I feel like you're going to be struggling this week, just to be completely honest. A very sleepy, tiring kind of week for my lovely Sagittarius to begin for this upcoming week, for the 25th to the 31st of October. The future. And fortune meets opportunity, black cat. A huge focus on a black cat for you this week. Did this come up in your reading last week, or was it another sign? I can't remember. It feels like a black cat keeps popping back up, or you just are thinking about one. Okay, could be from the past or from the present, could be both. But anyways, interestingly enough, we only got one of those. Let's pull a card from the Green Witch. One more shuffle. I feel like, similar to Leo's reading, eye contact is not going to be your forte this week. Okay. Agreement being the overall focus, as well as clarity at the bottom. So underlining focus on you gaining clarity on your future, I feel like, on the past as well. But I mean, we have this card that came out, the future, all right? The Veil card. So let's clarify this one real quick. We won't clarify the Green Witch card. It feels like you've had such a level of uncertainty when it comes to your future and your loved ones' futures. Whether it's your kids, you know, your family in general, your friends, whoever you care about the most. The Two of Wands, feeling like you just long for more than you've been dealing with, long for just something completely different. I feel like that has to do with a lot of areas of your life, but for some of you, it's just one. Whether it's love, friends, or your work, okay? Could be your home life. All the meanwhile, it's like you can't help but think about the future, and then you're being pushed by spirit in the universe to think back to a lot from the past, okay? A lot of past situations, failures, successes. But it's like this level of justice is coming into play when it comes to those past decisions and ups and downs. It's like you don't want to be reminded, but then it's purposeful, because as you're reminded of all of which in an annoying way, it all sort of reminds you that you're getting your justice for those difficulties, or for some people that did you wrong, right? Who or maybe undermined you, as they completely stumble upon saying that word. But it feels like the scales are starting to balance out for you as you get clarification. It feels like the blindfold isn't completely being taken off this week when it comes to your future, but you're definitely going to understand things a little bit better, okay? Agreement. It feels like there is a level of focus this week on agreement, or for the majority of the week, whether you agree with people or not, right? Some of you needing to sort of take a step back and be like, we can agree to disagree, right? You might be finding yourself signing an agreement this week, whether it's financial or not, or agreeing to work with somebody or agreeing to hire somebody. Interesting. Seeing a lot of feathers this week as well, as I'm drawn to this right here. It's a good sign from the universe. Potentially your past over loved ones. I think a lot of you thinking about the people in your life who've passed away. Okay. And it might be shortly after that, even if it's a day after, where you get a sort of a message from them and it clicks that it was them trying to communicate with you from the afterlife. Interesting. For my lovely Sagittarius is to continue this weekly read. for Sag. Okay, I'm going to take that one. Interesting. Being told this should be upright. We have 4 on the board. We're aiming for 5 or 6, but whatever we get, we will take for Sag to continue. Feeling very on edge, very nervous, very anxious at certain points of the week, and people just looking at you and sort of trying to communicate that you need to take a deep breath, but then you just being like, I don't know how, or I just want to, but I just have a lot to accomplish. I'm just kind of stressed. And on that note, there's an underlying focus on you having a lot going on, a lot of people coming at you, a lot of people requiring a hefty amount from you, but then you sort of expecting the world from yourself, right? On top of it all, and it's a huge past habit of yours, but it's like, what can you eliminate from your week, from your plate, in order to make yourself feel a lot less stressed? A huge question you should be asking yourself this week. 5 of Cups. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. It does feel like there's a lot less cards on the board in comparison to the other 2 fire signs. So it feels like the universe is trying to communicate to you. You can have a week that's successful, that feels good to you, where you help other people, you get clarity, you work towards your goals, but it doesn't feel sort of weighed down. It doesn't feel anxious. It doesn't feel stressed. You know, you seem to forget that, being very clouded with the chaos of your life at times. Some of you are very committed parents. 2 of Swords. So a lot of you just feeling as if this being aligned with the future card is if you just don't see how things are meant to unravel, feeling very defensive in conversations and arguments, or trying to come to a level of agreement with certain people, but then being like, I just want to defend myself all the meanwhile. I just want to sort of show you in a feisty way how it's meant to be done. You know, a lot of you have the habit of asking for help and then wanting to do it right yourself afterwards. Maybe just kind of loosen your grip and take a step back and allow somebody else to complete it first. And if you feel the need to correct or finish the job, then do so afterwards. But this coming up for the 5 of Cups, a lot of you just expecting the worst of people or situations or the future. And it's like, yeah, the past is not relevant at this point, even though it's going to be sort of brought up in memories and flashbacks throughout the week. But it just feels as if the beginning of the week especially, expect the best, okay? Don't focus on the failures. Don't focus on the struggles in your life and other people's. Allow yourself to put your guard down and understand that nobody's perfect. Neither are you, and nobody should expect anybody to be that level of perfection, because it's, one, unattainable, but it's also sort of just, it's kind of bland in the end if you think about it. Kind of boring, all right? It just feels like you may have certain emotions resurfacing at the beginning of the week due to you wanting things to be perfect, or wanting things to sort of feel cleaner, more put together in your life. And you could sort of try to clean your house or do errands or just do laundry, stuff like that, for a sense of control, or just to kind of see things feel a bit more put together once again, more neat. And it's like, don't, that can be productive to a certain extent, but don't sort of let it overshadow or kind of distract you from dealing with what you need to in your life, okay? 3 of Cups. I see some true get-togethers with friends this week, or at least one, that makes you feel really complete or just happy. Very sort of stressed about your loved ones' futures, but at the same time, very proud of them. And wanting to sort of treat them in one way, shape, or form. But the 9 of Wands, feeling quite depleted when you get together with these friends or this friend, feeling like they can definitely see that about you, and you're like, what else is new, right? Or what do you expect from me? And then you might find out that they're just as depleted or feeling just as much of a wounded warrior, okay? And as I sort of mentioned once again, that it's going to be a week where you're reminded that it doesn't have to be truly heavy. Unlike the other 2 fire signs, I'm getting 1 card for clarification for each so far. But with the Chariot being pushed to sort of go after what you deserve through your friends or through your connections, through your family for some of you. Feeling like there's 3, I'm getting 3 females that connect in such a beautiful way, whether you're family, friends, coworkers, whatever. I just feel this connection of you guys being this successful triangle where you kind of a little codependent as to a certain extent, but at the same time, you guys are meant to be connected in a lot of ways. Okay, it doesn't mean there aren't other people outside of you that are very much connected and sort of part of the equation, but you'll sort of be thankful for this triangle. Okay, there could be a triangle of guys, don't get me wrong, I'm just picking up on 3 females. All right, Queen of Pentacles for the 6 of Cups. Let's move right along. Second time popping up in the reading. This one came out in reverse at first, so I feel as if something, a memory's popping up, a flashback. It could just be randomly from spirit in your head, and through a dream, or just someone else bringing it up to you. Could be with a connection that brings it up to you. But it feels like something that you didn't remember or isn't very clear to you from the past becomes very crystal clear, for the better or for the worse. Some of you being aligned with this agreement card may not agree with somebody as to how something came to be or worked out in the past. And then you just maybe sort of needing to take a step back and agree to disagree, or you might find that you were wrong about how it actually happened. Okay, feeling like you're very confident about your finances, about your career, about the work you produce, but all the meanwhile, it's like during your work, you get sort of odd bodily sensations from spirit, whether it's twitching in your body and your lower back. I feel like someone has intense lower back pain. Okay, I'm just getting that. Or you just feel as if you get a major migraine. Some of you are realizing that your migraines or headaches are more spiritual than just normal. You know what I mean? Interesting. And it kind of makes you feel better that it's not sort of you just being a hot mess, but at the same time you kind of are, because you're spiritually connected. So it's like, how do I feel about this? I don't know. But going back to the 6 of Cups, a lot of you feeling very connected to cats, feeling very connected to animals, dogs, flowers, nature, right? All right, so this is the first one where we got multiple. You could be flashback to your past love life, but we also have the Tower and the Hanged Man coming out. And some of you feeling as if you're thinking back to and being drawn back to a past situation that came to an end and being like, this isn't really helpful, right? But needing to adjust your perspective and understand that it came to an end for a reason. If some of you are thinking about revisiting a past situation, it's time to sort of adjust your perspective, and they're reminding you of the red flags of why it came to an end, okay? We'll leave it at that. I think that was key wording, the Star. So it's truly a week where you're being going through a bit of healing, especially towards the end and the weekend. Some also coming through is you sort of healing throughout the weekend from the weekdays, the week up until that point. And also feeling like you just need to kind of keep the hope alive, right? And death. And it's like some of you need to heal from these memories popping back up, or you may have been reminded through these memories, through these flashbacks, that you haven't fully healed from what came to an end in the past, right? You may have sort of potentially healed, but then didn't finish the process and moved along, you know, to something new, or just in general. And now it's time to sort of heal from it all. For some of you, this is coming through as you feeling quite dead inside or depleted and needing to heal from it all so you can begin the next week or just celebrate with those you love the most. You might find that that group of 3 or 2 others, or whoever you feel closest to, who you would celebrate with normally, come in handy, and they're sort of a source of healing for you as well. Beautiful. Got a little choked up in that moment. The High Priestess. My legs are intertwined right now, or sort of like wrapped up, and I feel like you may just feel a bit sort of tangled this week, if that makes sense, like a little bit confused, or just a bit uptight, once again, needing to sort of notice those kind of moments when your body isn't very comfortable, but just sort of complacent, right? You just needing to, I feel like that's a message for you in a bigger way as well. I need to just notice those moments and just adjust things just slightly so that you can feel more comfortable, more at ease, you know, notice the tension in your body, especially in your shoulders, okay? The High Priestess and the Hierophant. Very much I feel these cards go hand in hand, about spiritual connection, about you sort of need to reevaluate things towards the end of the week. You know, I feel as if a lot of you will end the week on Sunday reflecting on your past week, on the past weeks and the month, feeling like, you know, okay, Halloween comes to be, and you're maybe not feeling very spiritually connected, especially on Halloween, but not feeling so thrilled about the progress of your month. Feeling like it was kind of bland, you know, feeling more a lot happier when it comes to the success about your loved ones, those who surround you, but then being like, what did I actually succeed with this month? What did I actually accomplish? Feeling like you will be sort of a bit depleted once again and a bit airy, and you'll feel very angelic towards the end of the week because of your spiritual connection, because of all you've been through. And it will leave you sort of in a very calm, cool, and collected way, reevaluating what needs to happen next month and moving forward, what needs to change. Some of you even thinking more into the future, going back to the Veil card, about what's going to take place. What am I going to change when it comes to 2022, the upcoming year? Very interesting. Feeling like a lot of you want to give birth to something new and you're being pushed to do just that. All right. So I hope this reading was truly helpful. I hope you have the most amazing week, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye, Sag.